welcome to this week's episode of NetKno, the networking show, where we talk and we love and we chat about all things networking. And this week I wanted to talk to you about if you've ever considered being the speaker at a networking event. It's something that often people don't even consider. They don't even think about the fact that when you go to a networking event, often there are at least one speaker. There's a focal topic, there's a theme to the event, whether that's a conference where you've got loads of people speaking. It might be just a little panel discussion that's thrown in there for a good measure. But you yourself, you could be one of those panelists. You could be one of those speakers at the conference, or you could just deliver a talk at a networking event. And there's so many benefits to doing this. So first and foremost, we get loads of promotion before the event even starts. So all the online advertising, you get your face out there, you get to be part of the marketing that goes into getting people to the event in the first place. All of that, which will be linked into your website. It'll be backlinked to your social media. It's great content for you to be sharing with your network. And it's also a great excuse to connect with people that you've maybe just met online, but you've not met in person. You could say, oh, I'm speaking at this networking event. If you'd like to come along, we can have a catch up, a chat there. Wonderful. But it gets you and your content in front of a whole new audience of people that maybe don't even know you yet. But they're going to benefit from you and your knowledge, and they want to get to know you and they want to learn from you. So having all of this promotion that happens before the event's even started is an absolutely fantastic way to get even more value from just going along as a delegate, being that speaker. Secondly, we're going to know that everyone that's in that room, they want to hear from you. They are interested in what it is you've got to say. They are by default, because they are there. They know what the topic or the theme is. They know that you are going to be speaking on a certain subject. You have a room full of people who are there to listen and see you. That is an absolutely unbelievable opportunity, and it's one that you could grab with both hands. There's loads of different ways that you can get additional value, giving away freebies after the event, making sure that you've got loads of business cards and flyers and information there, putting your banners up, taking pictures, obviously, of the event itself, and having those conversations with all the other delegates before the talk and after the talk. Again, everyone is there and they want to learn from you. It gives you the chance to showcase your knowledge. There's a wonderful book called The Speed of Trust by Stephen M. R. Covey, and I've probably quoted this many times before on previous podcasts, but my favorite quote from it is that trust is equal parts character and competence. So we need to showcase our morals and that we're good people and that we're nice people in order for people to trust us. But equally as important, we also need to showcase that we know what we're talking about. We're knowledgeable. And by being the speaker at an event or being the panelist in a panel discussion, the whole room knows that by default, you are good enough and knowledgeable enough to be on that stage. So before you've even said anything, they all think that you're the expert in the room because you are the expert in the room. So absolutely fantastic for raising that level of trust, and by sharing that on social media during the event, and then also following up as well. So post-event, being the speaker at the event itself, there's loads of ways in which you can continue to ride the wave of that opportunity. So make sure that you are engaging with all the delegates, have a conversation with the host of the event, ask if there's any post-event information that's being sent out. If so, could you please include links to your website or a free download for them, and again, start thinking strategically about how you can utilize the opportunity that you've just had to present yourself, your knowledge and all your skills to this room full of people, and make sure we're doing lots of lovely follow-ups afterwards as well, making sure you're connecting with everyone on LinkedIn, you're sharing images from the event, maybe even videos from the event on your social media. So again, the people that weren't necessarily in the room on the day, your wider network, they still see that you were the speaker at that event, that you are good enough to be the speaker. And unless you put yourself out there as a potential speaker, you're never going to get the opportunity to. So a great way to go about getting the, people are like, oh, well, it's all well and good saying just be the speaker, but how on earth do I do that? So one thing that you can do, dead easy, it's free, it takes like half an hour of your time, put together your very own speaker pack. So this could just be a Word document that you then save as a PDF. You can maybe design something on Canva if you want. Totally up to you, whatever works for you and your brand. But put together some information that you can then proactively send to the event organizers, because if you don't tell them what you're able to talk about at events, they are never going to pick up the phone and ring you because they don't know that you're there and that you're happy to. So put in a little bit about yourself. So a speaker bio, maybe a paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs about you, your expertise, any awards that you might have won, a little bit of like overview, background, quite generic about you that could be used for loads of different events. You could go niche and be bespoke with that if you wanted. Totally up to you. We then want to include in our speaker pack links to headshots that we've got that they can use for promoting the event. You want to include all of your social media accounts. So again, links to all your social media so that when they're promoting the event before and then showcasing it during and after, they're able to link back to you, which is great for that online additional promotion that you get as the speaker. You also want to include things like previous speaking opportunities. So any events that you've spoken at previously, any experience of maybe public speaking, and that could be like if you've done radio or whatever, or speaking at any other events, reference those in there. Give them a breakdown of the topics and the things that you are confident and happy to talk about at these events. What are your area of expertise? So for me, obviously, networking, academic networking, anything that I am comfortable and happy to talk about, list in there so that as and when the opportunity arises, again, you are the person that they pick up the phone and ask to come in. Oh, could you come in? We're doing an event about this topic. Could you bring in your expertise and be on a panel, or would you be happy to do a little talk? Now, you've got 2 options for this. Once you've created your speaker pack, you can then send it out. Start with the networks that you're already part of. So the networking hosts that you have relationships with, simply just drop them an email and say, look, I put together the speaker pack. If you are ever organizing any events and you need someone to talk on any of these subjects, I'm here. I'm happy to do so. Another thing you could include is some videos of you delivering any public speaking. That's a great way for them, the event organizers, to get a feel for your style, even if it's just some pre-recorded stuff that you've done at home or for social media. Throw that in there. Again, you want them to feel like they're getting to know you, but proactively send that pack out to the organizers of events, starting with the ones that you already have a relationship with, so the networks that you are part of, and then start expanding that out and thinking and looking for the networks that maybe you're not part of, but you would like to get in front of. So for example, if your target market was in the manufacturing sector, there are networks that exist purely for manufacturers. And as someone who's not a manufacturer yourself, you might not be allowed to be part of that network. However, it doesn't mean that you can't be a speaker at one of their events, during which you add loads of value by sharing loads of value information, loads of great content, but in a non-salesy way. That is an absolutely brilliant way to align yourself with a network that's got packed full of businesses who are your specific target market. You can get in front of them. You might not have been able to join their network directly, but it doesn't mean you can't add value to them by being that speaker at one of their events or their conferences. And unless you tell the organizers of the events that you're there, they ain't never going to find you. So putting together the speaker pack, being proactive with it, sending it out there, it gives you so much more benefit rather than just going along as a delegate, hoping for the best and just having 2 or 3 conversations. Being that speaker at the event, it gets you promotion, that wraparound value before and after the event, and all of the online additional marketing that comes with being that speaker. But it also gives you a room full of people who get to see how amazing and wonderful you are. And the more you do it, if public speaking isn't something that's natural for you, I promise, I used to absolutely, I'll not hate it, but it's always something that I didn't naturally was drawn to, but by default, I've had to do it over the years. Now I absolutely love it. I get so much enjoyment from it. And I'm going to say I've got a lot better over the years, because the more you do it, the easier it becomes, the more fun you have with it, and the more enjoyment you get, and the better you get at it. It's like anything, the more you do. I was going to say, though, that you have got 2 options when it comes to being the speaker, and it comes down to whether or not you want to get paid for doing that speaking slot. And this is completely personal preference. It's totally up to you. Obviously, by speaking publicly for free, it will provide potentially a lot more opportunities for you. But it depends on what your business model is. If your business model is you delivering training, which for me, that is absolutely, me going and delivering training. That's how I make money from my business, one of the ways anyway. So going and doing that for free when then trying to charge other people could be a bit more problematic. Whereas if you are an accountant, for example, you going and speaking professionally and going out talking about accountancy and giving loads of valuable information and tips, that's a sales tool for you and a promotional tool for you to lead to getting accountancy clients or getting additional opportunities. So think about what you want to get from it. If you're happy to do it for free, I would just say absolutely put yourself out there, try it, give it a go. And again, you get so much back in return. If it's something you want to create more as within your business plan, then think about what that looks like, what your minimum charge would be. If maybe you do a talk that's like less than half an hour, then it's free, but anything beyond that, you would have to charge for. Have a think on the different options, but start thinking about how you can put yourself out there at networking events to become not just a delegate, but that speaker that gets that center of attention. You get all the wraparound wonderful marketing that comes with it and that room full of people who are all ears listening to you. So there you go. That is it for this week. Think about how you can be proactive around your speaking opportunities, getting more from that 2-hour event by putting yourself in the limelight, sharing that wonderful knowledge that you have and promoting yourself before and after the event as well in a wonderful way. I hope it's been useful. As always, if it has, please do share it with your wider network to help them. And of course, like, share, subscribe to the podcast. And I'll see you next week for our next episode. See you later.
A Liquid Studios production.